Hi learners, welcome to Introduction to Computing Sciences course 101, study section 1. I'm glad to take this study section, and I'm sure that by the end of this study section we would have achieved the learning objectives, which are: one, you will be, by the end of this study section, you would be able to explain the term computer, discuss the characteristics of computer, and the third learning objective is that by the end of this study section you will be able to classify, state and discuss the classification of computer. So what is a computer? Computer is a word that we use on our daily basis. We use the word, we make use of computer itself in our daily activities. But how can we define computer? Computer is an electronic device that has the ability to accept data, process the data, store the information if necessary, and give out outputs as information. Four key things must be highlighted when you are trying to define what a computer system is: ability to accept data, process it, store it, and give out information as output. So let's distinguish between data and information. Let's try and differentiate between what is data and what is information. Data are raw facts. Data are raw facts without meaning. For example, if I come to the class and I say ECILOP, you'll be wondering that what am I trying to say. But when the raw facts are processed and you have the word POLICE, the 6-letter word meaning police, you have an information. Computer can be divided into two components: hardware components and the software component. The hardware component of the computer are the physical part of the computer that we can see, that we can touch. For example, the keyboard, the monitor, the mouse, the screen, and so on. Then we have the software component of the computer, the set of instructions that work on this hardware component so that they can function effectively and efficiently. The operation of a computer follows 4 basic stages known as the information processing cycle. The 4 stages include the input, the process, the storage, and the outputs. The history of computers shows that today's advanced machines do not appear overnight. Early inventors had made significant innovation. As far back as 500 BC, the use of tally stick, the use of abacus was in use. Then we have Blaise Pascal, who developed the mechanical calculator, which could undo the addition and the subtraction. Gottfried Lambres improved on the calculator developed by Blaise Pascal, and this type of calculator can undo both addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Charles Babbage, who is considered to be the father of computer, designed the analytical engine. Charles Babbage, which introduced the concept of programming machine. We have Ada Lovelace, who is considered to be the first word programmer, who wrote some algorithms for the machines so that it can work. And Ada Lovelace at this time predicted that at a point in the history of computing, computers will not handle only numbers, they will be able to handle music and text, and that's what we have in our present age computing. We have John von Neumann, who developed the concept of stored program concept, the ability of the computer system to be able to store data and programs at the same time. We have Antonio, who established the theoretical model of computation. These pioneers laid the groundwork for modern computing. Classifications of computer. Computers can be classified into 3 major categories. We can classify computers by signal, we can classify computer by capacity, and we can classify computer by purpose. Let's look into classification of computer by signal. This can be subdivided into 3 categories. We have the analog computers, the digital computers, and the hybrid computers. The analog computers process continuous changing data. For example, we have our analog thermometer. Then digital computers process information using binary numbers. Examples of binary computers include our smartphones. Hybrid computers combine the strength of both the digital and analog computers together and are commonly found in medical equipment. For example, we have our aircraft control system. Classification of computers by purpose. Computer can be classified by purpose into two different categories. We have the general purpose computers and we have the special purpose computer. For the general purpose computers, they are flexible and can perform many tasks such as word processing, accounting, communication, and programming. For example, we have our desktop, our tablet. Special purpose computers are designed for one specific task, making them faster and more efficient in areas such as robotics. Example, we have our ATM machine, our traffic light controls. Classification of computer by capacity. We have our mainframe computers, our microcomputers, and our mini computers. Mainframe computers are powerful systems that support thousands of users and are used by government. Examples, banking transaction system. Then we have our mini computers which serve medium-sized organizations and departments. Examples, our departmental servers. We have also microcomputers, also known as personal computers, are the most common because they are affordable and suitable for education. Examples, desktop computers, smartphones. Generations of computers. Computers has evolved through 5 generations. We have 5 generations of computers. The first generation made use of the vacuum tubes, which lasted between 1940 to 1956. We have the second generation computers which made use of the transistors. We have the third generation computers which make use of the integrated circuit, which lasted between 1964 to 1971. We have fourth generation computers, the microprocessors, which lasted between 1971 to the present age that we have. Then we have the fifth generation computer, which made use of the artificial intelligence, the AI, and that's the generation we have present till future. And we have a lot of features of the fifth generation, the robotics, the natural language processing, and so on. In conclusion, computers has evolved from simple machine to intelligent system that supports our everyday life. Understanding the concepts, the computer concept, the information processing, the history of computing, different classification, and the 5 generations has helped us to appreciate how technologies are developed and prepared us for more advanced topics in computer science. I'm sure that by the end of this study section, that you'll be able to define what a computer is, characteristics of a computer, and classification of a computer. I have assignment activity unit 1. In this assignment activity, you are to describe the 5 generations of computers, highlight the technology used, key characteristics, advantages, disadvantages, and examples of computers for each of the 5 generations I mentioned earlier. Then also the second assignment to be done in this assignment activity unit 1 is to differentiate between computer hardware and software. You have a week deadline for this assignment. Thank you. See you in sections 2.